Hey!
Wait,
what?
Hey!
That was good.
Okay.
We're back, it's Katie, and this is my husband, Chris.
Hi.
So I'm very excited because Disney has been releasing some of their most famous recipes.
That's exciting.
Including the churro!
Oh! Whoa! Guys, I love churros.
The churros at Disneyland are just so perfect. They're crunchy, they're sweet. So I'm gonna test this recipe, and Chris, you can be the taste tester and we can see if it actually tastes like the park churro.
I'm very excited. I am sure they're gonna be great.
Also, my friend Jasmine on the Bring Me channel is testing out some of these recipes as well, so go check her out. I'm gonna get started, I'll bring you back in and we can do a taste test.
Now arriving, Snacktown, USA.
Where all the snacks are.
Baby.
All right, so I have everything together. I'm ready to test this churro. Something to note is I was reading the recipe and it says it was inspired by the Disney park churro, which could mean that this isn't exactly what they do at the parks. It's also churro bites, not the long churro. Kind of disappointing, but maybe the taste will just be like so amazing it won't matter. Let's dive in and see how this goes. First thing we're gonna do is put our pan over medium-high heat, and then we're gonna combine water, 8 tablespoons of butter, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Combine this. Once your butter has melted, you're gonna wait till it gets to a rolling boil, and then you're gonna turn it down to low. Once it's low, we're gonna combine 1.25 cups of flour and mix that together until it becomes a ball. I think that looks like a ball. Turn the heat off, and the recipe says to let it rest for 5 to 7 minutes. All right, my dough's been resting for about 7 minutes. It's cool to the touch now. So I'm gonna add in these eggs one by one. Mix that one egg in there until it's fully incorporated, and then you'll move on to the next one. Basically what the churro dough is a choux pastry that we're then gonna fry. And a choux pastry is very simple. You use it in like cream puffs or a croquembouche. That's a big fancy French dessert. Rie has made it. But it's the same kind of base for the dough. We're adding eggs because that's gonna bring structure to this dough and also give it a nice rich flavor. Okay, that was a workout. Next, we're gonna add 1.5 cups of oil. Heat this up to 350 degrees over medium-high heat. So while this is coming up to temperature, I'm gonna put the dough in a piping bag, and I'm using a rather large open star tip. But if you only have a gallon plastic bag, you can just cut the corner of that and that can be your piping bag. Whatever works. That's what I always say. The next step Disney tells you to do a little later, but I'm gonna do it right now. So over to my left, I have a baking pan with paper towels, and that's so I can put the churros on it to sop up some of the oil after they've been fried. And I'm also gonna mix my sugar and my cinnamon right next to it. All right, and I'm all done with my sugar. So now, the recipe says to pipe in 1-inch churros and then use a knife to cut them off the ends. And just make sure you roll them over so that they are all getting kind of evenly coated. I feel like this is all that I can manage at a time right now, is about 6 in the pan. You could maybe get a few more, but it stressed me out too much to have any more churros than that in here. These guys look good. Let's get them out of the oil. We'll just set them down, and we're gonna coat them in cinnamon and sugar. Okay, these are looking delicious, and I'm just gonna give one a try before we even call Chris. These are really yummy, but they don't taste like the parks. I feel like there's something missing on the inside. The outside is sweet and crunchy and perfect, but the inside is definitely missing something. Hi. I'm calling because I made the Disney recipe, and I know that you make churros like all the time, and I'm wondering what goes inside your like pastry.
Flour, water, probably some sugar.
Sugar! You put sugar in yours.
It's all being recorded right now?
Yep.
Like you're gonna edit this out.
It's not live TV. I'm just calling you.
Okay, I definitely think you need a little sugar. About 2 tablespoons.
I think that you've helped solve the missing element.
Bye.
Bye. I miss you. I really think adding some sugar to this recipe is gonna make a huge difference. And if it doesn't, then at least I did all the work and you guys didn't have to. So we'll find out. So I'm basically gonna do everything I did before. And I'm gonna add those 2 tablespoons of sugar to really help make this dough fabulous. All right, our piping bag is ready to go. And the next thing I'm gonna change is the size of the churro. I totally get why they did the little bites. It's perfect, it's super practical for being at home, but I am not being practical today. I am trying to create magic. I want to feel like I'm at Disneyland. So instead, I'm gonna pipe them onto this pan, freeze them, so I can just pick them up and plop them in the frying oil. I think they look pretty good. Some are straighter than others, but they look all right. Like this guy looks good. He's the hero. I'm gonna go put these in the freezer and we'll be back to heat up the oil. Wow. I know not everyone has a pan this huge, so if you don't, you could always try baking your churros in the oven. So we're gonna add 2.5 cups of oil to the pan. All right, our oil is at 350 and our churros have frozen up. So I'm gonna gently pick them up and set them in. Oh, it just fits across. We might only be able to do 1 or 2 at a time. If these can be held by hand like they do at Disney, that will be a triumph. But I'm afraid that they're gonna flop. And if you're doing this at home ever and they're getting too brown too quick, you could always finish them up in the oven so that they don't burn in the oil. Grab this guy, set him down. All right, that guy broke. We'll let that cool down for a second here. And once it's cooled a little bit, we're gonna move it onto our cinnamon sugar and coat that all over. Since the freeze method only worked so well, I'm gonna try to pipe some of these directly into the frying pan. I have some left over, I might as well. Honestly, the ones that I piped out into the frying oil look better than the ones I froze. The ones I froze got thin and kind of lost their luster. Okay. Ooh, oh, it's staying together while I'm holding it. Chris, it's time to test some churros.
It looks awesome. I'm very excited at what I'm seeing here.
You're probably also very confused.
I'm a little confused, yeah. There's multiple churro options here.
The one on the left is the Churro Bite recipe Disney released. It's tiny, it's practical, and the one on the right are the experimental ones where I was trying to get that classic Disney look, and I changed one thing in the recipe.
I eat these all at once, right? I just like,
Scooby-Doo style.
It is slightly different though.
Than the park. It's not exactly like the park.
It's not, but they're really good. They are really good.
They're still very good. Let's try the second version.
Oh, wow.
Disney style.
Thank you so much. Now this feels like I'm at a theme park. So this one definitely tastes closer.
The secret ingredient was sugar. I added sugar.
The secret ingredient was more sugar.
It doesn't taste like the park though. They still have not revealed all of their magic. They're keeping some secrets.
Disney, you need to release the real recipe.
Release the real
Release the recipe.
Flash mountain pose when you go down.
Oh. Churros